Hello, everyone. Kay here. We're going to spend a few minutes talking about personal growth. What do I mean by personal growth? It's that part of us, the inside part of us, our mental, emotional, and spiritual being. That part that we have to intentionally challenge ourselves to grow. Yes, that's right. It's not going to happen automatically. We have to grow ourselves on purpose. Why do we need to grow ourselves? Why would we want to grow ourselves? Because that involves putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations, challenging ourselves, getting ourselves thinking differently and bigger and better. Why is that important? Well, because if we don't, we'll never change the circumstances that we're in. James A. Allen very famously said in his book, As a Man Thinketh, that man is eager to change his circumstances. Let me ask you, are you eager to change a circumstance in your life right now? I know that I am. But he goes on to say, men are unwilling to change themselves. They therefore remain bound. How many of us are bound by something? I dare say most of us, almost all of us, are bound by something that we need to change in order to change our circumstances. There's a misidea, it's a wrong thinking that if we change our circumstances, it'll change our life. Actually, if we change ourselves, it changes our circumstances, and our life is already better. So, personal growth does not happen automatically. Unlike physical growth, children grow up, they mature, it's automatic. And sometimes we think that the rest of life will be just as automatic as that when we get out of college or when we finish school or when we set out on our adult career. We think things are just going to fall into place. And so many of us make the mistake of just letting life happen instead of leading our life. I'm talking about taking charge and leading our life and not just letting it happen to us. Because personal growth is not automatic, it's not going to happen by accident. If we grow, and it is an if we grow, we must do it on purpose with great intentionality, and we must have a plan. So let me ask you, do you have a personal growth plan? Well, I'm here to help you with that. That's why I've created the Foundations of Destiny class. It's just 6 weeks for $99. That is an almost embarrassingly low amount of money. But I want you to take advantage of the opportunity to discover what personal growth is. I want you to have the chance to learn a little bit and challenge yourself in these areas. The link for the class will be in the comments below. Just get with me and we'll set up that time and I'll get you set scheduled for one of the classes. I want you to take part in this. I want you to learn a little bit about personal growth because see, the greatest gap in life is the gap between knowing and the gap between doing. We know this is true. Think about if we want to lose weight or get fit or train for a marathon. We may know how to do it or to begin to do it, but knowing and doing are two different things, aren't they? How do we get from knowing to doing with intentionality and with a plan? You're not going to get fit if you don't have a plan and stick to it and follow it. Is that right? Of course it's right. We all know that's right. It's the same thing in every area. The knowledge gap, knowing what to do, or the doing gap, really, knowing what to do but not doing it. So I want to encourage all of us, all of you watching, thank you for watching. Do you have a personal growth plan? Let's get a personal growth plan in place and don't let the assumption gap that it's just going to happen. Don't let that stop you. You see, sometimes we think I've got certain gifts and certain talents, and we do. And we think those gifts and talents will open doors for us. And often they do open doors, but we're not going to move into using them or move into the giftings that we really have within us without planning, without preparation, and without developing them. They must be developed, and that must be done on purpose. That must be done according to a plan. Yes, it must. So don't let the assumption gap that it's just going to happen, don't let that stop you from moving in personal growth, from developing yourself. Don't let the assumption gap stop you, and don't let the knowledge gap stop you. What's the knowledge gap? Well, I really don't know how. Well, if we don't know how, what do? We go to the gym and we hire a coach, a trainer, or we hire a coach on the track if we want to train for a marathon. Or if we don't know how to start in personal growth, we hire ourselves a coach, which would be me or someone else. Or we get a book, or we listen to some podcasts like this, or we sign up for the Foundations of Destiny class. But we do something to learn what to do and how to get started. Don't let the knowledge gap, not knowing what to do or how to get started, don't let that stop you. Or not even, perhaps you don't even understand exactly what I'm talking about. Don't let that stop you either. There's time to learn. And speaking of time, don't let the timing gap stop you either. What's the timing gap? Well, it's just not the right time. I will get on that diet at the right time. Well, now's the right time. It's always the right time. If we say it's not the right time, we're just putting it off. We're just not doing it. It is doing it or not doing it. That's the only thing there is. So don't let the not the right time stop you. Don't let the inspiration gap stop you. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll do it when I feel like it. Listen, we don't follow emotions. We don't feel like doing something and then do it. We do act and then emotions will follow. Emotions are really, really fickle. We know that our emotions are up and down and back and forth, and sometimes it feels like we have no control over them. But if we will move and act in certain ways, our emotions will get in line. We can control our emotions in this way by acting, and our emotions will follow. Don't let the mistake gap stop you either. I'm afraid I'll make a mistake. Listen, I hate to break it to you, but you will. We all do. We make mistakes. That's part of learning. That's part of growing. That is part of the process. Don't let that stop you. In fact, don't let any of these gaps stop you from the big gap of between knowing and doing. Let's develop a personal growth plan. Let's understand that it's a lifelong journey, developing ourselves, growing ourselves, understanding ourselves better so that we can be more influential and more useful helping others and being a blessing to others. Until we help ourselves and grow ourselves, we don't have anything we can give to others. But as we do that, as we grow more and more, we have more we can share with others. So happy growing